You know why I'm here. The hell they did. If you don't use standing wave tech, you get an F. Spiral. The video is literally one of a few, and what even the heck is any of this? Well, first of all, this doesn't look like people actually having a company running it, working on it, developing it. It looks like a production company for a bunch of hoax. They go through a lot of work to try to give you all the lovely details about, oh, I don't know, the motherfucking regular ways people have done fusion before. The Stellarator is mentioned, and other ways are mentioned. But then they make their machine and it has some weird toroidal situation. And again, it's a micro version of the tokamak. It's not going to work as good as mine. And the conclusion is,
Waste is another step closer to the ashes of Jeddah.
And I can't think of anything that would be more impactful for the world for the better than to
listen. Here's the thing, right?
invent the ultimate approaches to fusion can get to like really high plasma densities, and that's really fucking exciting. I don't care about money. I don't care about fame. I want to see this.
Me either. And I'm just telling you, you didn't do anything new. Do you know why neutrons fling off into the walls of your machine in every reactor that uses some kind of momentum-based system? Because you literally show me, where the fuck is it? Oh, Edison and the light bulb. Get over yourself. Crazy machine, the fact that it's small, and the whole...
Basically, I told them, look, this is something that we need to look back because this is exactly what we're looking for.
Talking about stuff with...
This experiment called the PSP2. They pulse their cathode with a lot of current. By doing that, they're able to spin up their plasma really quickly, and the
Obviously, momentum that can make densities. I'm not saying it can't, and I'm not saying it's not going to be a way to do something, but let me just tell you a little something. Cold fusion was already invented, and people dismissed it. Let me explain. Basically, what they did in cold fusion tests was they took away the electrons by putting the material that they want to fuse into a grid of material that is hungry for electrons. So all you end up with left over is the proton neutrons. And you don't end up making bombastic fusion in this way. You don't end up needing a lot of heat to do it. And you still don't have a lot of control, and you still end up making tritium. So, what's to say that isn't fusion? One, it is. Two, they didn't use momentum to do it. And they still failed, in my eyes. You're just doing what everyone else has been doing, but smaller. That's not better. Even if you achieve some kind of fusion density, you haven't said anything in this video about the amount of power that you could possibly make, any amount of like progress or whatever. And this is all about one project that there is no other information about on the page. You could have multiple videos talking about your project levels of development and how it got to this far. Instead, you made a slideshow of a bunch of different stuff, and you included Star Wars to make it really hype and pumped. And I am disappointed. You're looking at the one person who knows how to make fusion correctly. Control the neutrons. How do you do that? Sound. In standing waves, the material is capable of being held with the pressure from all sides so that it's kept and contained in whatever amount of size of a packet you want. And as much as that can only work so well when it comes to regular masses that aren't under pressure, when you're trying to make something that is in pressure, it's saying that, of course, you might have a chance of things being more energetic than you want it to be. So, again, my approach doesn't involve pressure, doesn't require pressure. Step 1, remove the electrons, not add more of them. Step 2, hold the neutrons with sound waves. Step 3, hold the protons with electromagnetism. Tweezer the protons towards the neutrons that you've already held with the sound waves so that they are forced together in the exact clumps that you want them to be. Make the matter you want to make. But that's, of course, dry fusion. That's not even interesting. You're not going to get any power out of that. And I am not telling you that you would get any power out of it, but you would make fusion. Not only would you make fusion, it would be controlled. You can make anything of any size that you want. This device is as small as a lunchbox. Can I make it? No! I can't make the device, but I know full well that standing waves from either sound or electromagnetism, which, by the way, is not electrons, it is the magnetism itself, the magnetic field, the electromagnetic field, the thing that affects protons and electrons equally. You could even use it to hold the electrons away from the matter. Once you have the matter that you want separated, then you can just take the protons and neutrons and make them into whatever other thing you want to make. You want to make something 20 times the size of uranium? Like, in volume. I'm not saying about how stable it could be. Once you've made the structure, you have to then understand that when you add more electrons to it, the inner shell of what is normally like, I don't know, carbon or whatever, has 8 JK, 4 valent electrons. The outer shell of most things has 8. And when you go to something that is so big that the normal shell is encompassed by the size of the atom itself, you end up with the instability factor of whatever electrons are going to be there are more likely to be pulled in than orbit, because you have more attractive force than repulsive force. If I wanted to, I could make an atom with a core of electrons. That's how controlled my system can be. So you start with a layer that is layer 1 of just electrons. You pack them. Then you start with the proton-neutron. You continue with proton-neutron pairs that somehow make a structure that is like a molecule that is capable of being stable and holding the electrons inside this neo-atom. And then it can be as big as you want, and you will have the ability to have electrons be repulsed and not pulled in, because other electrons also exist in the system. Would it really work? I don't know. Would it collapse? Possibly. But there are ways of making little carbon bubbles. There are ways of making all sorts of bubbles on an atomic scale. But what I'm talking about is something that's not exactly anything like that, but it's something that's like so crazy. And you can layer it. Instead of just making a regular atom that has a collection of proton-neutron pairs that is just a bunch of positive and then all of the negative is outside, blend it. Mix it up. Make it so that I mean, you can do similar things with just circles of carbon. We've already seen something like that. But I'm talking about something that's possibly more controlled and a structure that's unlike molecule or atom, but both of them combined in a way that's like the inside structure is the electrons, the outside structure is proton neutrons with specific limits on what can be. And then like you would have to make it out of something heavier, possibly out of something more heavy than regular carbon. You have to have something that has already a lot of electrons that can work. It's a crazy idea. It's dumb. It's whatever. But who cares about what you can make? The point is about the method. You can use sound to control the neutrons. Force them with pressure on all sides, with standing waves, or however else you can make the constant pressure. Not electromagnetism. That does not work. You can't hold neutrons with electromagnetism, everyone knows this. Use sound. Once you have that, use the electromagnetism to control the protons. Then you can construct whatever molecules, whatever atomic structures you want out of anything. So you can take water and turn it into glass, or uranium, or iron, silicon, argon. It doesn't matter. You can take all of the stuff that we want to remove from the atmosphere, suck it all up, and then use that to transform it into something else. Literally on the nuclear scale of things. Everyone's all stuck on making power. You're forgetting that we can make matter transformed. So, water shortage? Grab a rock. Not even joking about that. But anyway, your attempt is the same old, same old. Inertial confinement doesn't work on neutrons. It just accelerates them. You're going to lose a lot of viable mass. You can't do enough efficient fusion with neutrons just going everywhere. They are going to be wasted, and for whatever amount of neutrons that you lose, there will be that much less fusion you can do. So you need to control the neutrons. Then you will have efficient, and not only that, it won't break the machine constantly with neutrons hitting the walls, making damage, all that stuff. Also, it'd be less radioactive, more safe for the environment. I don't care about giving you a special, how do you do 20 minutes of some, oh, look, there's a forest. Oh, look, there's some spiral in a jet. There's something about freaking other people's ideas that you started with. Like, okay, approach it from all the different things. You've said you've learned about all the different sciences. Yes, you have. Except for not enough to actually know to control the neutrons with sound. Like someone else said in the video comments, this looks like an ad. Yeah, it does look like an ad. It looks like a big hype, and it looks like something that's clearly not made by AI, but it might as well be. Don't know anything about these people, don't know anything about what they're doing, don't know anything about anyone who's talking about them. Because, oh, the video is a day old. That doesn't matter. Also, if you're going to make this company invented a new way of fusion, you better have already have the, like any smart person would tell you, just have the numbers to back it up. Be able to tell us how much power you can make, how much power you're using, whatever else you're doing. You're making an idea of density of matter. I don't care. Feasibility, that's all I care about. You say you're on steps like 2 or 3 through 20. You're not there. fluid dynamics and vertices and all this other stuff. It's interesting to think of that stuff, and I'm not discounting the fact that if you have the whole plane idea.
For me, that was like oh my god, I understand how that could work from my previous experience, and here's an experiment that actually demonstrated.
Yeah, you can do that type of thing. But again, it's not enough to say that you're actually going to hold everything and keep it all together. I will always say it, inertial confinement isn't confinement. It's out of control. Now, as much as you might think that it would all just spiral and always be an inward force, it's also, you're not holding anything in there. Even if you use electromagnetism, again, you're only holding the protons and electrons parts of the fusion stuff. You're not holding the neutrons in there. This feels like something I'm wasting my time on just talking about. The fact that there's this. Like, what is this? Future of AI warfare. Who cares? We engineer narratives? What the fuck? It sounds like you deliberately make up stories as part of your descriptor of the thing. Asteroids? Are these the same people from this video? New age of manufacturing. NASA mission you didn't know about. Life on Europa. Like, this sounds like a freaking bluff page. A lot of bluff page. I don't care how it was made. I don't care if a person or AI made it. And even still, even if it's real that they made some stuff with tech and whatever else, we're a deep tech storytelling company, produces films to help innovators around the world see their ideas and the background of engineering venture capital. Our team has a unique DNA to make media effectively communicate the key to key stakeholders. So, in other words, propaganda. Designed to make you think they're doing the right thing to make it all work so that it becomes thought as like, hey, invest in us. And I'm here to say, step up. The problem is the edited stuff nowadays, made by AI or by people, is not indicative of truly innovative design. It just means you're able to make a story. And that's disturbing. Anyway, Check out my video about... Where the hell is it? Sci-fi beams thesis. Oh, yeah, I tried posting about Thelma. It got copyright blocked worldwide. I'm not gonna apologize. Watch Thelma. But yeah, the sci-fi beams thesis is kind of funny. Seriously though, if you don't use sound, you're not controlling neutrons, you're not making anything work. And also, if you're not talking about, like, there are zero factors of how much energy in, how much energy out at all. This is so, I don't like